say something because I find something I'm very angry about. It's just something I'm always angry about is about the Windows Phone situation, right? Now here's the guy which is from the Windows Central is saying the Android co-founder says Bill Gates is responsible for the greatest mistake of all time that cost Microsoft $400 billion. I guess it's probably even more. And it just costs them right now, but probably costs him more. But here's how his reply. His replies are purely garbage, and the entire comment section is just ridiculous. The reason I say it's ridiculous because you have a bunch of open source things, right? Just a common bullshit among is just saying, oh, open sources are good. No, Android isn't good, right? All the open source, none of them good, right? For example, on Linux, all these distributions, you have different GDPC versions. They don't compatible with each other. So what are you going to do, right? You have binaries, you cannot ship binaries. The problem with open source is always fragmentation because everyone can compile differently. So you end up with situations that people run Windows by executables with Wine on Linux just will ship binaries. So we're going to read this comment, okay? Well, whine about. Let me check this one. When did you do this one? Can we check this? Okay, I don't want them to control the mobile like they did the PC either, unfortunately. Now we have an even worse one, which is Google. Right, when Microsoft they control PC, they still allow you to install another operating system. They still allow you to run executables. But on Android, you basically cannot do this, right? That's the point. It just prevents you from doing things. So how is it better? Google is even worse than Microsoft now. Microsoft isn't even controlling anything. Nobody even cares Microsoft anymore nowadays. So you have an even worse one, which is Google, to justify killing another monopoly. They're both monopolies. Now let me read the comments. The comments are even worse. Okay. You want something to be more open. How is Android for open? I'm using Google Pixel, okay? The Google's Pixel official phone. Tell me how to install Windows or install Linux on it. GNU Linux. I'm not saying the Android, okay? I'm saying GNU Linux. How to install that one? I can do that on Windows. I can even run WSL. The Windows itself even provides WSL. You tell me something more open, but I can install another operating system. Install multiple operating systems. In fact, not just one, but multiple of them on PC, but I cannot do that on my phone. How is that open? I guess for a lot of people, they just open source code. They just think the only open is open source. Except all these so-called open is they're always open to vendors. They never open to the end users. End users are always the enemy. End users are the enemy, right? Well, I would like to actually have Windows on phones, right? But that never happened. The Windows phone isn't actually Windows, right? But I don't see why you think have another operating system is a huge loss for humanity. How is adding more competition a loss for humanity? Now you have basically the Google controls everything. Google control all the entire search engine on the mobile, all the search engine. Google controls everything. How is that? How is it not a huge loss? You have monopoly, which is Google. How is it not open up? I don't understand all these people's logic. I really don't understand what open means. How is TiVoization? The Free Software Foundation, they would always talk about free software, even open source. I think we need to go here, right? If we go to here saying Richard Stallman, he's talking about free software, right? He's talking about very clearly free software isn't open source, okay? Right? Right.
It is part of
I suggest you
does the computing you want it to do.
Now, so see, Android is clearly the one that violates the freedom one, right? Free software isn't open source. A lot of people just confuse the point. Free software isn't open source, and also people think Linux is open isn't a free software. No, Linux isn't a free software. Okay, Linux is open source, sure, but it's not a free software. So I don't understand what this logic. How is opening up your the source code makes it more open? Right, I know. Right, everyone knows how the basic law. Many people know that the basic logic of how to make nuclear weapons. Right, you have atomic bombs. You have basically all the physical. That's all open. But can you actually make it? You cannot, right? You don't have the resources for doing it. So what's the point? Open isn't free, okay? Free software, that's the point. I don't get it. The openness usually means open to these big tech, big oligarchs. So they never open to you, okay, as an individual, as a end user. The end user is always enemy. You need to consume this fucking YouTube, right? So this is social media. So let's just go back to that comment, right? Now the bullshit part, we're just gonna read all his bullshit. I don't know whether he will block me because he was not going to do that. No. So what? Early PDAs, what about today? It doesn't make any sense, right? You cannot just tell me what the before, what today. Consumer device. This is just bullshit. You could argue the opposite. It's because you have these civilian devices in the first place, like phones. Like let dumb down people. Just blend obsolescence, right? You can't even upgrade your OS. That's the point, right? The only reason computer didn't become so-called consumer device is because it's only because Microsoft was probably under antitrust law in that case back in 1990s. And back then, they haven't figured out how to lock down computers, right? Like lock down phones, because we are already seeing lockdown PCs, right? We're seeing Surface RT. So this argument doesn't make any sense. So I don't know what the consumer device actually means. How is consumer device has anything to do with I'm not allowed to install another operating system in it? It doesn't make any sense. How does TiVoization have anything to do with consumer device? How is laptop require more to set up? This logic doesn't make any sense. Oh, lower support costs. So then why laptops isn't for doesn't design for lower support costs? It doesn't make sense, right? Hey, all this logic doesn't make any sense. I mean, for the logic of capitalists, we know they always need to cut costs. So it doesn't make any sense. So because all his logic of why the phones need to be locked down, why it can be used for PCs, right? You could argue that most people with my PC doesn't need anything. They just need, if they want to program, even no programming, they can connect to cloud servers, right? Both Google and Microsoft, they all have their cloud machines. That's the only point I agree with, right? You cannot just say that Windows Phone failed because it comes too late, because Windows Mobile actually comes much earlier than iPhone and Android. It doesn't make any sense, right? The logic doesn't make any sense. This guy is basically talking about the fundamental issue here is that Microsoft literally tried to lock down devices. I think I talked to it before. The Microsoft, I think maybe I need to talk about it a little bit later on a bit. You see, that's the problem. When they build up their own Java virtual machine, it's not Java anymore. If you're Java developers, you cannot actually write Java code, the real Java code on the Android platform. It must be something different, right? There will be some features not supported. Basically, you on Android, you don't write anything that is standard. You don't have anything that's standardized. You don't have standard graphics card. You don't have standard C++ because they ban exceptions. There's no lib1 in it. You don't have the standard Java. Decided to say it's Java. Now they have put another bullshit with Kotlin. Nobody want to use. Now you have another bullshit with Flutter. Data passion. A data passion, that means he wants more civilians to use. No, data passion. He said data passion and instinct, okay? Have you seen what he said? Oh, sorry about that. Now everything on apps now. Nobody even use they thought it's more open, but nobody even use apps. Use browser on the phone anymore. They really locked it down. Everyone's just on the phone mobile, just use apps, right? Consumer device. I don't think they have led to fewer tech savvy users, because now there are twice as much as phone users and the computer users, and many of the tech heavy, they are using the phones too. If you look at India, we have a lot of good India programmers. They're just using phones. I've seen my friend, he cannot afford a computer. He can only buy a phone to program, to set up a terminals. I don't think it's small. And if you look at all the people talk about how Android is used, how you connect to ADB, how do you use ADB without using a computer, they're Indians. I guess he's probably living his bubble, which is the United States, which is everyone is dumbed down, while outside the world, there are tons of tech savvy users than probably United States are. It doesn't make any sense, right? Also, what you're saying is consumer devices. Then tell me, why computers are not consumer device. You have Windows Home, right? We have Windows XP. Even Windows 10 has Home Edition. Home Edition is consumer oriented, right? You have professional and consumer. In his logic, the home version should be like Android, be completely locked down or walled garden. So it doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, it needs unboxed and just working on. Neither laptops. Laptops also needs to be worked for non-technical consumers. You have tons of women just buy Apple products. They probably even don't know how to use it. Just buy the Apple. Dream device. Yeah. Dream device but not supporting C+ exceptions and saying, oh, this is great. Yeah, that guy is basically correct, right? Google was a scared of Apple's walled garden, right? There's more and more restrictions by Google that put on Android, that put on Chrome, even Chromium. I don't even use Chrome. They put on fucking Chromium, right? Like removing the uBlock origin. And non-tech users. I don't get why non-tech users are not allowed to use these extensions. Even I'm using Microsoft. Even Microsoft Edge has fucking extension support, right? Has uBlock origin, but Google Chrome doesn't even have extension support. Where's fucking Google Chrome? Where's fucking Google Chrome? This is the only reason. Where's the fucking Chrome? Looks like I use this phone to prove a point. he's lying. Also, that non-technical users, right? I'm using programming C++ on this phone, right? Only reason I buy this phone is for my paper, right? For my fucking paper. Now he's talking about non-technical user. What is he fucking talking about? What is he even talking about? I'm actually debugging some programs right now with ASIN. I need to fix it because there's a problem with deep C++. Not check. Let's talk about it later. But people just say, oh, it must be iPhone. I don't use iPhone, right? I'm using fucking Google Pixel, bro. Google Pixel 9, the flagship phone from Google. And all these are all the apps I run, super apps, just progressive web app. My computer is also progressive web app. There's not actually much user experience differences between them. The only thing I think is different is because my laptop could run probably World of Warcraft, which is something I want to know how to do that because I'm trying to compile the fucking drivers. It's very hard to do because of fucking walled garden. Yes, it is inferior to iOS. How is that not inferior? Right? You have all this fucking stupid permissions management system, which is basically ridiculous, right? Every fucking Android app, if you install whatever, no matter it's from App Store or not from App Store, when you go any website, they ask you to download the APKs, right? This is exactly what's happening, right? Right, iOS don't shit on fucking bullshit and fucking Java on it. It's better than Apple. Except everything is Google is doing is trying to learn at Apple, right? Trying to restricting siloing, right? Just try to annoy you. Oh yeah, 4 billion users. With basically everything, right? 4 billion users. Except every Android phone is different. Every Android vendor has own UI, do some bullshit on it, right? And someone just don't allow you to unlock the fucking bootloader. Someone just kills your background process randomly. Just doing random process kill, background kill. Now you're telling me this is better than iOS. The only thing that is, I would argue, is better is because it allows me to run progressive web app and run terminals, right? That's the only thing that Android does better. But some people would argue the opposite. Because you are allowed to do these things, you suffer from security issues. It's just ridiculous. He's thinking we are doing better than iOS, except Apple just earns much more money by just selling iPhone than any other Android vendors on the planet. Probably all the Android vendors put together cannot compete with Apple, if I remember correctly. I don't know. But Apple is still the largest company on the planet by the market cap. Yeah, this case is totally correct. This case is totally correct. I don't think people are very happy with Android either. Yeah, great. That's correct. None of these companies are innovation, right? They're all big tech oligarchs, right? They're just capitalist monopolists. All the FTC and European Union won't file antitrust lawsuit against Google. I agree sure you could argue that Windows is doing all the shit, Windows 11, but it's unified, right? You don't have like Android. You have some people running the fucking one just fucking launcher, right? I'm using fucking Microsoft launcher. Then you have everyone has a launcher. Every fucking vendor has a launcher. All the UIs works differently. Sometimes I just cannot. I say you go there and install progressive web app. You just cannot do that. There's no permission on some phones, for unknown reason. Google acquired Android in why did another question? Why did you allow Google to acquire Android? Then we have even worse one, right? Monopoly, which is Google, that doesn't even allow you to install fucking extensions on Chrome, right? You're not allowed to disable Chrome. I think you just try to. The Chrome is still there, okay? You cannot you cannot actually remove. I find it quite funny that people who claim that the fucking Chrome. I don't think I can. I uninstall it. Just hide it. Where's the fucking Chrome? You cannot actually. You cannot actually. I think it just disable it. It just doesn't show in here. You cannot actually remove Chrome. Okay. This is just bullshit and lying, right? Just have fun. We're just gonna take an hour to just read these comments. See, it's not uninstalled. It's installed, right? It's just saying you enable it. Right, you just enable it. You're not actually install it. Okay, you're not doing that. Right, that's the only thing. Right, you're not uninstall that browser. You're not uninstall that browser, bro. It's just your machine. It's just I'm not upgrading it. Right, it's just showing. Here's a Chrome. Right. No, here. No, this is a Chrome. Right, this is Chrome. But how is this better? How is this better? Even better than fucking Edge? I use Edge to run progressive web. How is this better than Edge? And you see, no extension support, right? No extensions. No fucking extension support. Every browser nowadays, basically Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Kiwi, and they all support. I don't even understand why you want a fucking Chrome, but he doesn't allow me to uninstall it. You cannot install it, bro. There's no way to install it. You don't tell me it's uninstalled. They said you cannot uninstall it. It just uninstall all the updates. Okay, it's not actually uninstall the app. It's just system app. I have to do this. Okay. Oh yeah, that fucking launcher, yeah, the fucking launcher, yeah. Have to do this basically. Yeah. Done. Yeah. Okay, hide it. We're not actually install it. Okay, you cannot install it. Let's just go back to he's. And that's the point. I find people are talking about apps, but nobody talking about progressive web app. It just showing how moronic that Google has put on people, right? This Google fucking Play Store just brainwashed, probably even bring himself. Yeah, this is really correct, right? Yeah, this. He talked about how these people are talking about how Windows be bad. Dividing your own rooms. I don't want Android, right? I want something. I want just one Linux. Why am I not allowed to use Linux on it? I don't want a room, okay? Freedom choice. Why cannot install Windows on it? It's Google Pixel, okay? Even Google doesn't allow me to do that. Many other vendors, they don't even allow, they don't even remove the options of unlocking bootloaders. All you're saying, oh, you're developing your rooms, It doesn't make sense. You cannot do that, okay? They don't give you the permission to unlock bootloader. How is that permission of freedom of choice? Not because it was too late, okay? Even if they release Windows Phone today, and there was no Android and iOS, they still won't succeed. Because this is just a terrible operating system. The EU is wrong. EU is wrong. EU is wrong. EU is wrong. How EU is wrong, okay? You're just symbol of Google, okay? Symbol of Google and Apple to say EU is wrong. There's nothing wrong, okay? They have very good, you can go and read out their documents. Don't say they are wrong. Go and read their documents. They are very logical. They're just very logical people. I'm talking about why they need to force these so-called gatekeepers to open it up. Yeah, that's great. No virus. No virus. Like I said, this is a Chinese complaint. Okay, they see. Okay, they're talking about fucking Android. Just tons of, okay, all these Android system recording phone status reaches 95.5%. So it means your fucking Android phone, use any app, 95% of your phone status will be recorded and sent to someone else's server. That is so-called security because on Android, because you cannot do anything. It's walled garden. The app, even the anti-malware webs cannot actually prevent it. All these apps just 95.51%, okay, of reading phone status, reading the address position, sending links. Okay, these are statistics, okay? This mobile phone security engineers, he just counted more 100 phones. Let's just read it, okay? We're talking about Android, okay? Just this fucking Android. The mobile phone security engineer counted the permissions required by more than 100 mobile phone software. And the reporter saw that among the sensitive permissions of these Android systems, reading phone status accounted for the first place, which means basically all apps on your phone, on your Android phone, read your status, okay? And REST addresses positioning for 45 minutes, half their reporting of position. So basically, it's telling you that every app on your Android phone, even some app, I use progressive web app, but it's still sending some native app, but still get surveillance. I guess you get surveillance even more than I do, okay? They even send and receiving messages for 45%, you know? It just even do the background, just send messages and receiving messages. So you can lose your money by using your phone because some apps are sending messages using your phone. They even make calls, okay? They're reading your content, they're recording, okay? So 90 of these applications closely related to the personal privacy, okay? So these are security engineers. He's talking about that. And even worse is that even without this permission, the software could still run, okay? Because they just trying to get your data. They don't probably not use it right now, but they will store it. Maybe in the future they will use your data and sell it. That's basically what happened in fucking Android is, okay? Now, Android system have almost no restrictions on mobile phone permissions. Although these openness attracted a large number of app developers, also caused disorder permission acquisitions, right? Many apps prevent you from running if you don't give them permissions. That's fucking Android. Okay, that's fucking Android. Right? He's talking about that issue. Right? You go on your website. You with a fucking Android, this is the entire thing. You can just go and read it. It just talk very well. Okay. How the entire situation with Android is terribly bad. Okay, it's terribly bad of having Android system, in the social security. You just become your phone is a civilian device. It's just telling you. It's not just Google is tracking you. All your apps on Android tracks you. Because that's Android. Okay, then they tell me, no, you don't need anti-malware. Okay, no malware, much better by sending all your information to all the apps, because you have no anti-malware virus. Okay, I get it. Siloing. Siloing isn't an option, right? Why do we need to silo it? Why are not allowed to install another operating system? Why cannot silo another operating system? Why can only install siloed apps? I don't want apps. I want operating system. I want programs. So it doesn't make sense. I like the freedom. The Google just telling you, we have freedom. By selling all your data, 95% of all the apps on Android sending information, right? Freedom. Bill Gates is, of course, he's bullshit, right? This dude controlling for the DC. You think that the phone isn't dystopia right now? Over 45% of all the devices on the planet are Android now, probably even higher. Because we're just talking phones and PC. The PC is on the Windows is only 25%. Android is twice much larger as Windows now. To the point that Windows is probably not even relevant anymore. And you basically need to replace phone every year. You don't even replace your computers very often. Right? You are still using at least 5 years of computers, probably in 10 years. A lot of people are still using Windows 7. Right? So he's talking about just using phone, replace your phone every year. Isn't that dystopia, man? What are you even talking about? Android is an open computing ecosystem, okay? Windows is. The open means you can run binaries, you can install another operating system. That is open. Android is a T-virtualized hardware, is the definition of a walled garden. It's a standard walled garden. Just like Windows S model Surface RT were walled gardens. Okay? It's not an open computing ecosystem. Except the mobile industry is completely get ruined by Google. Right? You are not even allowed to install extensions on Android. You can install all the other operating browsers. Probably even most fucking Android users, they use apps. They don't even use browsers. You see, the entire comment is full of and it's just irrational hatred for Microsoft. Microsoft is just all bad, right? Just basically. I don't. To be honest, I don't even understand the hate of I agree the apps are heartbroken and feel like pains. That's something I agree. The Windows Phone is a terrible device. It's not because Android and iOS are good or a lot of people are using it. It's simply because Windows Phone is a bad operating system. Windows Phone OS is a bad operating system. Apps. Hey, these people, they don't even know apps. They don't even know what is program. Apps. Fucking Bill Gates. Oh, except Android. Android is even worse, right? You have what do you think Google is even doing during the last decade? Basically, literally nothing. Maybe it become the fucking monopoly. They just a monopoly. 60% of all their revenue still comes from Google search. Not coming from something even smarter, just the search itself. Now they are trying to increase the revenue from YouTube by fighting against the fucking ad blocker on the fucking YouTube, right? Just randomly block other browsers. Right, you use other browsers to just breaking your browser. How is that not a fucking monopoly on fucking YouTube? Yeah, that's exactly the problem, right? Now everyone has to pay fucking Google 30%. Oh yeah, except why on Android is successful, then Google Pixel, wow, horrible device to be honest. I bought this Google Pixel just for experiments. Right, it doesn't even have fucking. It tries to learn Apple, right? no hyphen jacks anymore. Even Microsoft Surface laptop, still the Surface Snapdragon still had the hyphen jack. It's just insane, right? With the ridiculous price, right? Just the price is also ridiculous. Disagree, but no, I disagree with the not enough developers. It's just a terrible platform, right? Biggest mistake. But I agree it's a basic mistake Microsoft, particularly Satya Nadella, is doing. Oh, the Java part. Well, I just wanted the fucking part is the Java part. These people don't understand. I mean, they don't understand. Okay, they don't understand technology. They don't understand what is walled garden. Right, I understand a lot of people are trying to say the real Win32, but it's not Win32. Okay, it's walled garden. It's executable because Android has executable too. Okay, it has executable just like the client running here. Okay, he's talking about it's executable. It's not Win32. Win32 doesn't mean it's executable. Win32 just a set of API. Because some people have the idea, but they don't describe things correctly. They are not computer science. They're not like me, get a PhD from the fucking computer science just to install this shit, right? They don't understand what is walled garden. They don't understand civilians. They don't understand monopoly. They don't nothing. Some has the primitive ideas, but they're not describing their things pretty well. Right, but here is something he's trying to describe the problem here, right? The Android is basically a civilian device, right? There's no control. Google tried to control it. That's a problem. When you restrict the system so much, you also want to open it up, you have a problem because but you don't have a separate system to prove that I can just prove it. You don't have these issues. You cannot prove it. But iOS is going too far by not providing options, but Android is not open and not closed, right? Not closed. It's closed system, but it's the open closed system, which is the worst part of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? Windows is the open system. It has an issue for sure, but it's an open system. iOS is the closed system. Like Google's product is always not closed, right? But it's closed system, but some open. You know, that is why the Android is so bullshit. Okay. Who chose at that time PWA, isolation PWA. I guess he doesn't understand what is PWA, right? Right. When he does virtual machine, I think he didn't even realize that when he forced Android, what it will end up with is just iOS is using Swift and Object-C, and you fucking using your Android phone is using the fucking Google, right? For fucking Java. If I was an app developer, like developing Spotify, whatever, developing any apps, right? Well, you shouldn't use Node.js. You shouldn't even use any apps anymore because you have Spotify, progressive web app running fucking Microsoft Edge, right? We have Spotify, but the Spotify has their co-engine that is coded in C++. Why? Because they want to support both Android and iOS. You're not just supporting Android, right? You're supporting both of them. And that's the shitty part is coming from. You're getting the bullshit of every word. You get the shit of Java, because Java is no longer cross-platform language anymore. You cannot run iOS. You get the shit from iOS because Apple want to fuck you. You're not running the native C code either because the Android doesn't even support fucking C exception correctly. It doesn't even have live online in it. Okay, it doesn't even support live online. That's fucking Android is doing, you know. You try to mod apps, you have to disable fucking C exceptions, right? That's the only option. No, you see the only option. The option is everyone is moving to the web now. Everyone is writing the fucking JavaScript, writing the web, writing all this web-based technology. So strong app development. Browser itself is strong, right? Browser itself is an isolated app development. He doesn't really understand what a good choice is. You knew nothing about it. You knew nothing about it. See, just how ignorant these people are, right? Read about you know nothing about. See, that's how the Android developers see us. You know, you see these users you know nothing about, right? End user is the enemy, right? End user is the enemy. He's basically talking about you can rent whatever you want. If you rent, you just know nothing you're talking about, right? You know nothing about. Except this guy doesn't even understand progressive web app. Right. Oh, everyone using the fucking Android device must be iOS user. But complaining Android must be iOS user. You just tell to people what do people think of Android. Right? What about the Android in China? What about gosh, right? Google is so bad that they try to push their agenda. They all this bullshit. They get kicked out from China. Now they whine about it, or how evil China is, right? But still hire workers from China to do the fucking Android work, right? This is how Google does things. I think he's not complaining the wrong way. It's not Java. Sure, Java is with a lot of energy, but the major issue is that now everyone is doing differently. Right, it's differently. It's just complaining language now. These people just complaining fucking language now. This guy's, see, right, he's a fucking Zionist. He's a fucking American Zionist. I mean, none of these people are just complaining to the right point. It's not all these languages. One of them are bad. They're not good or bad. I mean, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm saying it's not the point here. I don't really think these are good languages, but that's not even the point why this situation is terrible. That it's terrible because you have Android using Java, then iOS using Objective-C and using Swift. Because Google and Apple, they don't disagree. They don't agree with each other. Right? You end up with situations everyone's doing differently. If you are an app developer, what are you going to do? That's the biggest issue, right? So end up just writing C++ as a core engine and to call into the cause with JNI. That's what basically all this Java native app is doing, basically doing that. You defeated Microsoft. And that's the issue, right? Microsoft is, you can say whatever fuck they want, but they are always quite friendly to the end user compared to Google and Apple, right? But Google, everything Google does is end user, is user as the enemy, right? That's how Google does things. Apple, sure, is doing something, but Apple, everyone knows how they do things, and they does make great product. If you are telling me that Google Pixel is better than iPhone in terms of quality and quality, even the chip, just talk about chip, right? What the shit chip of fucking Google Pixel is. I'm gonna complain. And that's what you're talking about progressive web app. You know, that's the biggest problem. Now I'm talking about progressive web app. They're just choosing a terrible language. Just He doesn't even really understand. These people don't even understand why people are using C++ in the first place. That's why they make the decision of using Java. They're not because using Java is the right choice. They just don't understand. Now he's talking about if you complain, you are wrong. How is they wrong when every apps nowadays, if they try to be cross-tab, they try to write C++ code under the hood. Now he's complaining, oh, why not using Flutter? Why use? Now I will ask you, why not just use progressive web app? This guy, he doesn't even know progressive web app. I find the dishonest part is that none of these people knows progressive web app. Right, this is a progressive web app. I'm running fucking Microsoft Edge with progressive web app. Right, they talk about YouTube, right? This is YouTube. Right, this is progressive web of YouTube, right? In fact, I even have the extensions, right, to block all the ads. That's my YouTube. It's better than yours, right? Oh, you say it's late. Right? It's not late, okay? It's not late. I also, even today, I think Microsoft still has a chance of, and I think they should re-enter the phone market. They don't necessarily mean, or they need to compete with Android, with Apple. They can create a user base. Okay, they have a user base. I can guarantee you. Stop socialist tyranny. This guy is just fucking liberal. He doesn't even, I don't know what he said. He doesn't even understand what socialism is. Socialism has nothing to do with either. Also, Microsoft is a capitalist monopoly. Same with Google and same with Apple. How are you supporting stop my socialist tyranny? This is exactly why I don't use X. It's just a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of idiot who are doing it, who are using this. Okay, who are using this platform. Neither Google. Tell me, people are talking about don't remove the block, right? Don't remove the ad blocker, right? Don't do anything to the manifest. We don't make the fucking manifest v3. Don't web request API. Did you listen? Monopoly on App Store. So you're talking about Google is a monopoly on their App Store? I mean, Microsoft, they probably don't listen, but when they listen, they do it quite well, right? They also correct it, but you don't see that on. I don't even know anything that Google is doing right during the last 10 years. Can you tell me what is Google is even doing right? They're not even doing right with the AI thing. Gemini is a total disaster. Gemini, right? So I'm sure Microsoft the recall is terrible, but I think there are still more users using Copilot than fucking Gemini. Oh yeah, PC operating system. That's the defeat point. He said Android, the phone OS, is always different, have a different demand and the PC demand. Then why do you even try to cater that demand by the Android? You're not catered to the same right person, right? You defeat the whole point. They're trying to add a terminal to Android. Running in virtual machine, you know. They don't allow me to run directly. They run virtual machine. if founder tweaking is better. That's a part I agree. Is that Microsoft phone was awful, but I don't agree that Android is good. The last part I agree, but I don't agree he did it. Okay. Civilians. Oh god. Between Android and monoculture. Android monoculture. Is he talking about Android's monoculture or the TiVoization of Android is a monoculture? You are not even allowed to use your machine correctly because Linus, he's a guy who killed. Basically, he is a guy who destroyed the free software movement. Monoculture, by TiVoized, by all your device becoming civilian device. Right? You're not allowed to replace the operating system on it. You can say all the bullshit about Microsoft, but there's one thing they do absolutely right is that they allow you to run another operating system. Right? You don't like the system, you can go install Linux on it. You don't see that on Google's ecosystem at all. Right? Windows was not too late, right? That guy was correct. Windows Mobile was in 2010, 2000. And it has a pretty big market share before iPhone. Great product. Everything's an app, great product. I mean, all these people, they don't. Windows Phone is a terrible OS. Okay, it's terrible OS. What apps? I mean, when people talk about no apps, which app? Maybe some games, I agree. But same with Windows ARM, right? Windows ARM can still sell some machines. It's not an issue. Launching Microsoft as, oh yeah, that's because Windows Phone was a shitty OS. That's the only reason. Poor management from the beginning to end? I don't think it's just poor managed. They just listen to the wrong people. First, I don't think it's really wrong people. It's also very subjective. They just think they can do whatever fuck they want, and the users cannot do anything. They can lock it down as Apple does, but they're not Apple. And that was why it failed, right? Because they try to be Apple. That's the only reason they failed. They can never be Apple. I mean, he's talking about Flutter. I think he's talking about fucking Flutter. I just think he's talking about Flutter. But he doesn't know progressive web app. Just go X, okay? We just go real X. We go X. What is his name? Breach Miner. Okay. This is called apps. This is not apps. It's just web browser. He's the guy who just destroyed the web standard. Right? I mean, he's talking about that. Microsoft platform, you're still running browsers. On Android platform, you're not even allowed to run browsers, right? But this is bullshit, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly the point. He's talking about exactly the point. The modern PCs nowadays still allow installing alternative operating system, even Apple's device, right? We usually don't like Apple, but Apple Silicon, they still allow you to run Linux on it. Sure, they don't provide drivers, but I don't blame them. At least they don't unlock. You actually got some drivers as well. You have Asahi Linux, right? But you don't see that on smartphones, right? He doesn't even understand what this skill source is open. This guy is perfectly correct. It's perfectly right. Right. That's he's a fucking billionaire. You know, this guy is a fucking billionaire. Now he just think you are just you right, just lower class people, right? Just like in we was mock the India's caste system, right? They have right. Basically, they are doing the same. You are just slaves to us. God, fuck it, don't talk anything. You don't deserve anything, right? That's his attitude, just his attitude, right? He's just like a slave owner, right? You're just slaves. Don't talk, don't ask, right? Windows did not have. I'm using a Surface laptop, right? I'm not touch it every day. How do you tell me it doesn't support touch? It supports touch very well, and I even tried to support touch for the wine. He's just wrong, okay? He's just wrong. Understood developers? Oh, you try to say understand developers, but developers want to run, they want another operating system on it, not Android. You understand developers? You just take you developer. See, just two sides down. It's just say, oh, it's good, it's open. What is how great open source is? It's all the open source end up with fragmentation. Then you are not like Windows Phone is all good. It's just because no apps support, which is of course untrue because this guy is saying exactly right. Windows Mobile was launched 2000, and it doesn't make sense. What if you think that way? It's just saying Windows take on. Then what about Chrome? How Chrome killed IE, Internet Explorer. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. See, this is a problem. Actually, just ignored you, right? They just a bunch of trolls and just doing all the shit, right? And they just say, "Oh, he just hates Microsoft so much, right? He's a fun. Well, he hates Microsoft. We hate you, right? Do you think Google would understand developers? The GPU bugs, right? Google. Just think of the developer. Just go and talk about what people think of developing on Android. Why would everyone just use web app now? Why everyone just running a web app? Why every app is just trying web apps or some? They don't want to write Java code. Why? You're telling me it's better. No, I'm not just gonna. Let's see. Can I just go back here and see when anyone is here? It's just ridiculous, to be honest. It's just insane, just bad. And he's using Flutter. He's not. The dishonest part is always. Also, right, I use Clang 20 on the phone natively, which is a programmer I Vim. Right, I use fucking 80, or just the only thing I want to do, I cannot do, is install Windows on it. I really want to install Windows on phone, but they just don't allow me to do so, right? Of course, they don't want me to do so because they can sell you more ads, right? And no extension support by Chrome on Android, so just the web browser experience just terrible. To the point that you're forced to use an app because all the experience of browsers are horrible, and you don't run progressive web app because you don't even know browser anymore. Of course, they don't know what is progressive web app. Also, the argument is that just Google doesn't support it, just Google Music, YouTube Music. Those are mobile apps, right? Maps, Google Maps. And Google, right? All these are Google's app, right? App. So, insane. See how civilian is it? I'm just talking Microsoft. Everything become Microsoft now. This so civilians, just right. This is just how civilian works. Even I'm using fucking Microsoft browser. Best Buy. Those are web apps. I don't use native apps, so-called Android apps. I'm using web apps, and I'm perfectly fine. I even have VS Code on my phone. Right? I'm just doing the exactly same as I do on computer. The only difference is probably the screen is smaller. And sometimes I just don't like it because I really hate work order. Right. Also, the battery life is really. Also, the microphone is terrible on the fucking phone because they remove headphone jack. I cannot. They remove headphone jack. Okay. Just all web apps. Okay. I'm just running web app. Fucking web app. And all. Instagram. Let's just try Instagram. Okay, people saying there's no Instagram on it, but we have progressive web app. That's all the fucking mobile social media has, right? Actually, when we're running a browser, I don't get controlled by this social media, right? I can control it. Now they don't even allow you to run web browser anymore. They want to sell your data. They want to do 95% of the time selling your data. That's all the fucking Android is doing. They don't even respect the web standard. That's fucking Android is cause the problem. And you have these women basically being 304s, right? They just fucking 304s, that's all they had, right? You go in university, you just see all the shit, right? It's just all the shit, right? It's just Android. Now that's for the rent today, right? I'm just saying using progressive web app. Oh, install progressive web app. Yep. Hey, sorry, but what's going on? I hope I don't do anything wrong. Use progressive web app. Don't use apps. Don't use fucking Java. Okay, it's a no end. Not because I don't like. I just really don't care about Java. But if you are a Java developer, I just suggest you to write progressive web. Right, the experience just is absolutely horrible, and it wastes your time because you need to support these different platforms. It is running very slow because all the Java code is running even slower than JS, and you can even run C++ WebAssembly with it. The Java was, and he's talking about Flutter. I don't remember where the Flutter is coming from, but the Flutter part is the most ridiculous part, right? So that's for the brand today. Yeah. And that's that case. Use PWA, student DR. Use PWA, not apps. Okay. Can I stream now? Can I close it? Can I shut it down? This is how bad the Android is, right? You cannot even do anything. If you wanna and stream, you cannot even do it. And stream and YouTube session.